I'm very grateful for everything that happened to me, the good and the bad, because it's something that have forced me to look differently at things in life. Life is not only about the good and celebrating moments. It's also especially about the bad moments and dealing with them and find the support. And if you don't have the support yourself in it. And within the journey, find a position where you're very happy with yourself. And I think it's super important to what has helped me is that once something bad happened to me, I found out like, okay, who is there to help me? So you're very more selective of people. And then it also means that your time is investing in the right people, in the right environment, and also in yourself. I have really been focusing on myself for a long time without it being selfish, because I've always still really loved to help others with that. I think it was a bit too scary for me to apply to a job back then. So I thought, okay, what's an easier way is to do a job that you don't get paid for. So I felt it was like a little bit more easy for me, because you couldn't really fail because you're already doing it, to do good in the first place. And that's when I came to the idea, okay, let's go to Africa, in this situation to Ghana, and help other people out. And my doctors advised me not to go to, because they said, okay, it will be a bit it will be a struggle. You go alone, like in your wheelchair with your walker. We advise you not to go. And obviously my dad and my mom, they were super frightened that I was gonna do it anyway, and I did. So 1 month later, I started to book my tickets, and I went to Ghana, and I did some volunteering work, and that has really been such a life eye-opener, life experience that I will never forget. And not only to just be with different people from different cultures in the first place, which really I really always really enjoy, but also just to help someone, really help them, being really in the moment. Whereas in Europe or in Holland, in this particular situation, I always find it hard to be in the moment because there's so many distractions, so many things going on. And in Ghana, I really didn't have that feeling. I always were in the moment. If I was in the car, I was really looking out the window, seeing all these things happening on the streets. And it has inspired me so much to live more day by day. And I could really recommend it to anyone that wants to do something in the world. Just go to a country where they're not as fortunate as we are. And also, in order to acknowledge your privilege, your own privilege, I think it's a very important thing, because even though I have my handicap and I've had a lot of struggles, I'm still super privileged to live in Holland, to have a house, to have a family, and all these things. So I think it's really important to also, even though you feel sorry for yourself and you feel like, hey, I'm 10 steps behind of my friends, you're still 100 steps behind of like 90% of the world. So that's really important to always remember. And that has really, I've been experienced it in, and that's really made my life a bit brighter. I don't know how to say. The main thing is to always remember who you are and what your motivation is. And if you don't know, find it. I think it's super important that instead of just rushing into a study, rushing into a job, try to have some time for yourself where you really look in the mirror and say like, hey, what do I want in this world? Because I think only by then you really find the things that you really want to do, and that will never make you unhappy. Nowadays, so many people have burnouts because they end up in the wrong job because they have to, And obviously, not everybody has a chance to take a moment and look back. But even if you don't have a chance to look back, I think it's super important to still stay true to who you are, and next to your job, do things that you like. That's one of the things I find very important. Next to that, I really find it important that the message gets spread out there that people with disabilities are not crazy. They're not like behind the rest of the world. And I think that it's so easy to say like, oh, someone has a disability, it will be harder for us to hire the person. It's really proven that diversity and inclusion has such a big influence on the companies and in teams. It has so many positive things that come with it. Because when I speak from my own experience, I've really experienced that when I'm at the floor, I always think a little bit different, because I've always had to think a little bit different. Ever since that day when I was 14 years old, my legs didn't work out, I had to start thinking differently. When your body doesn't work, you're gonna think differently with your mind, that I never had to do before even. And I think it's so amazing if people gather together from all different backgrounds, from all different experience, and you really work together. You have so many more creative ideas, and there's only benefits, in my opinion, for companies. But sadly, it hasn't been really acknowledged so much yet.